Greetings, folks, and welcome to today's show. We have just had Martin Luther King's birthday commemoration, and we've got Black History Month coming up, 1st of February, just a few days away. And so we thought we might deal with some of that subject matter, and our guest today is Ms. Brenda Cannon, who is at Motlow. And so we're going to talk some today about things relating to Dr. King and Black history and whatever else crops up. So Brenda Cannon is here with us, and thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay. How about let's begin. I know you've been around a while, but maybe the audience is a little bit cool. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, thank you. When you say you've been around a while, that makes me think that you think I'm old, and that's something I stay away from, okay?
I didn't mean to say that, yeah.
But as far as me personally, I am a native of Franklin County, Tennessee, graduated high school there. From high school, I went to Tennessee State University, completed my bachelor's degree in communications, returned home, and have been at home ever since. But in that process, I've been to MTSU, completed my graduate degree in education. I have worked only 3 jobs, or at 3 places in my life, multiple positions, but only 3 places, that being the Herald Chronicle newspaper in Franklin County, and from there I went to Henley Supply, and I was their marketing manager, and from there I came to Motlow College and have been there 25 years.
25 years, yeah. Very good. Well, you don't look it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, very good. Well, with that, folks, let's take a short commercial break, and we'll come back and talk some.
The highest standard of trust offers a sense of safety and comfort. It's established over time. You know when you see it. You know when you feel it. There's a standard of trust in healthcare. It's the Joint Commission Gold Seal of Approval. In 2003, Life Care Center of Tullahoma voluntarily achieved this accreditation and maintains it still today. Life Care, meeting a higher standard because residents matter most.
Welcome to Merle Norman, located inside Northgate Mall in Tullahoma. Since 1931, Merle Norman Cosmetics have been researched, developed, manufactured, and packaged in the USA, using the highest quality ingredients and unmatched customer service to help women look and feel better about themselves.
Hi there, I'm Christy Almacher, owner of Merle Norman. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about Merle Norman products. We have a large line of skincare and cosmetics for all skin types. Merle Norman's motto is try before you buy, so we'd love for you to come in, talk to us about your concerns, try the products, and we want you to feel good when you leave here, so we hope to see you soon.
Want to feel good in your skin? Visit Merle Norman in Northgate Mall, Tullahoma.
Let the Smokehouse be your mountain getaway destination in beautiful Monteagle, Tennessee. Enjoy our cabins, restaurant, and old general store. Shop thesmokehouse.com featuring homemade barbecue sauces, jellies, and many other fine Tennessee products. Our live Music on the Mountain series features some of the best local and Nashville talent every Friday and Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. No cover, kids welcome.
We're back, folks, and we're talking today with Ms. Brenda Cannon from who's with Motlow these days, and we're talking about a little bit about Martin Luther King, whose birthday we just celebrated, and Black History Month, which is coming up shortly. So, Brenda, how about some? Let's do a little recognition here. How about some major events in the last, 150, 200 years that particularly involve the black community?
That should be really easy, but let me make a prelude to that by saying that when we talk about major events, we always take them to the national level. You can't forget the bus boycotts or the sit-ins or Bloody Sunday. You can't forget those things, but for Black History and King Holiday to have a personal impact, I always encourage people to bring those events closer to home. I see here we have a book, Uncommon by Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy by far is an icon. He's achieved greatly, and we appreciate him. He's not only appreciated by me, but he's appreciated by the masses. But for people to understand the significance of Black history, we need to understand that there are Tony Dungies in our own communities that we need to look at and respect, and hopefully let those people be our role models and our icons. Children, and youth rather than children, but today's children, they have so many role models, and they want to be like so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, and but they never,
somebody making $1 million.
And it's always somebody making $1 million, and there's usually an artist, some kind of artist, but we forget that we have foot soldiers in our own communities who you live beside every day, you go to church with every Sunday. They allow you to borrow sugar when you run out for your coffee in the morning, and you don't have to repay it. And those are the people that teach you your values. They help shape your character and mold you. And that in itself is a celebration of people, Black history, and foot soldiers.
Well, that's a good point. You're right. We need to be reminded of that.
We need to be reminded of that. But in the wake of that, we have had so many celebrations lately, 50-year landmarks. This year, 2014, marks the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act. Hopefully, schools are studying this. Hopefully individuals will look at something, refresh their memories, because there are a lot of people, prior baby boomers, who are well aware of what the Civil Rights Act has done. They probably, somebody remembers the actual signing when Dr. King and President Johnson were signing that, and the implications that it should have had. But we must be mindful that all of those, because you write it on paper and you sign it, it doesn't necessarily put everything into motion. People are the people. People are the ones who have to put acts into motion.
Happen, huh?
They have to make it happen.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. And some of the younger generation, who are enjoying the benefits of the Civil Rights Act are not particularly cognizant about where it came from.
They are not cognizant, and we are remiss in telling them how they are now enjoying the fruits of those labors and sacrifices. I often tell my students at college, we see people where they are, and they look great, they look wonderful, they look successful. But we forget, those people forget to tell this generation where they came from. Therein lies the story.
Right.
Because everybody, regardless of race, creed, or color, you've had a struggle. There has been a struggle somewhere in your life. A different struggle maybe, but there has been a struggle. And the only reason that you persevered is because you had grit, or there was something in the inner that said, you can do this. And there is a reason and a purpose for doing this.
Yeah, that was, and that one other major event that, again, the younger generation are getting the benefit of and may not really appreciate where it came from, and that was the Brown versus Board of Education, which is over 50 years now,
over 50 years old now. Yes, I think we celebrated that anniversary about 2 or 3 years ago. And that was the landmark decision that allowed, it was, the prelude to integration.
Yeah. Outlawed desegregation.
It outlawed desegregation, and you're right. And I often tell people, because desegregation was outlawed, it did not necessarily mean that integration immediately came into play, because even though desegregation was not legal, integration only came about when people began to do what we're doing. And that's sitting down talking and opening their minds and their arms and their hearts to let other people in.
Yep, very good. Okay, any other major event down through the years that, well, you might go back to something, one of the major events usually mentioned is one that happened during the Civil War. Brother Lincoln.
Oh, the Emancipation Proclamation.
Right.
Yeah, that was a major event. Of course that was a major event. I'm not aware, I don't know if you know this, but right now the movie industry is doing a terrific job, and they're putting a lot of emphasis on bringing things on the picture screen that we have not been able to talk about, regretfully. The Jackie Robinson story, exceptional film. I highly recommend it. I love it so much that I gave my son a copy for Christmas, and I encouraged he and his wife to have a date night, and I even gave them popcorn to pop, and they need to watch the Jackie Robinson movie.
Well, have they done it yet?
They have not done it yet, and both of them are school teachers, and they've in Davidson County, and they've even had a snow day, but they have not watched it yet.
I think maybe you ought to go speak to them.
I think I will. But that film speaks volumes about the struggle and how the struggles that Jackie had. As good as he was at his profession, at his craft, his peers were not ready to receive him.
Right.
And it just talks about his strength, and the strength of his wife got him through that. But the owner of the team, a white man, is the person who initiated that change. He had the courage and the foresight to see baseball must change. And I remember the line so well. He was saying to one of his proteges, he said, it's time to hire a Negro.
Well, and I'm sure he was also aware, you know, as a businessman, that there's a lot of terrific talent out there that isn't being used, and I want some.
Right, but he had the courage to act on it.
Right.
And the struggle is about courage. The civil rights movement was about courage. Our lives today is about courage. But that's a good film. Of course, 2 years ago, everybody watched The Help. The Help was absolutely wonderful as well. The Butler just came out, and it is a good film. It's about freedom riders, and of course, freedom riders played a real role in the civil rights movement and getting people registered to vote, and sit-ins, and just making a stand. People died, people were brutalized, people were maimed, but somebody knew that somebody had to pioneer this so that you and I could go on Channel 6 today and do this.
And there were a lot of, during that time, the 50s and 60s, there were a lot of heroes out there that really made things happen in spite of the fact that they were endangered themselves. In fact, we had quite a lot of them killed during the demonstration.
A lot of them were killed, and even with the civil rights movement, it is so necessary that our young people understand that Dr. King was the father, the guru of the civil rights movement, but the movement never would have happened successfully without the support of non-black people. White people had a major role in moving the movement forward.
Well, thank you for that break. That doesn't get said all that often. So
that's a true fact.
Okay.
That's truth.
Well, with that, folks, let's take a short commercial break, and we'll come back and go some more.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please, for the following public service announcement. He's back! The Watkins Man is back, bringing his world-famous Watkins products to 104 East Lauderdale Street in Tullahoma, where Richard and Stephanie Carpenter have opened the area's only Watkins store. Since 1886, Watkins has produced all-natural products, starting with the pain liniment and now including soaps, oils, creams, scrubs, royal jelly, beeswax, supplements dedicated to natural health and pain management, cover total external and internal body care. And don't forget the world-famous spices, extracts, teas, and cooking ingredients. With too many products to list, know that all Watkins products are 100% natural using the highest quality ingredients obtainable. Always remember with Watkins, when you buy the best, you use less.
A salute to the never wasters, the coupon clippers, switch flippers, one last drop of milk drippers, the thoughtfully thrifty, and the just plain cheap. Charter respects your economic IQ and honors it with a phone service worthy of your ever-watchful wallet. Charter Phone, just $19.99 a month. For real monthly savings for fabulously frugal folks like you. Switch to Charter Phone and get unlimited local and long distance and 13 calling features with no extra fees like the phone company charges you.
I'm meteorologist Leland Statham from the News Channel 5 Weather Center. Look to Jim Fuller and crew for local news night here on Channel 6.
We're back, folks, and we're talking today with Ms. Brenda Cannon from Motlow, who is here as our program today for commemorating the Martin Luther King's birthday just happened and the Black History Month coming up. So we want to find out a little more. Well, we've talked about several events. I don't know if you have another one or two there, but the other thing we want to do is to talk about some very key black figures over the history that have played a big role in bringing things where they are now.
Well, you know, Black History was started by Dr. Carter G. Woodson, and Black History Month began as a Black History Week celebration, and the whole idea behind this was to bring focus to the contributions Black people and how they have helped shape and mold America. Through the years, the week has been expanded into a month, and we often say that it's amazing how we got the shortest month of the year to celebrate the greatest people on the earth, okay? But there is a point behind that. The month was selected because Abraham Lincoln, who signed the Emancipation Proclamation. His birthday is in the month of February, as is Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass was an advocator, an orator, an emancipator who carried the banner for freedom and liberty for Black people.
And this is during the Civil War era.
That's right, during the Civil War era. And last year we had the good fortune at Motlow College to bring on campus an reenactment of Frederick Douglass and Abe Lincoln, The Meeting, and that was the title of the production. And they both of the gentlemen were absolutely excellent, and the story that they told, the historical story that they presented, was absolutely phenomenal.
That had been a good show. Yes.
It was excellent. It was excellent. But that's how we got to Black History Month. But you know, as we become more educated and as we move forward and we see a new dynamic shifting, we have begun to embrace or realize that change is here to stay. And even from where I sit, lots and lots of things have changed. You see a different nationality of people who have come into your communities that you must embrace as well. We talk about immigrants and borders and border patrols and all of that madness. And sometimes I think that's exactly what they probably thought when slaves were being shipped from Africa here. They were thinking, these are immigrants, we need border patrol. And today, hopefully, we understand that all of us have a purpose. All of us have a divine purpose, and all of us can come together to make the whole even greater than what it is.
We haven't quite caught up, have we? Change is still needs to go on.
It's change. Yeah, and you know, I was reading an article this week. I've been working on some stuff, and an article says change is always difficult, and it incites anger. And if you have the opportunity to see film footage on the civil rights movement, marches, any of those movies that I mentioned, or 12 Years of Slaves that just came out, 12 Years of Slavery that just came out, the anger, the oppression it's not necessarily about the people, it's about the possibilities of the change that comes with it.
Yeah, okay. Very good. Well, let's talk about some of the major characters. Maybe we can, including a few of the, that are on the scene now. I think of, well, a little off the scene, but still around. Colin Powell, for example, is certainly a key figure.
He is.
Condoleezza Rice was a key figure. And there's some more. Denzel
Washington, excellent. I think you know as many as I know.
Well, it was interesting, in sort of reviewing that and the list itself. It was interesting to notice that they were represented in just about every profession. As a matter of fact, the music world that we have enjoyed really began in the cotton fields with the slave labor, and then migrating to New Orleans with the beginning of jazz in Chicago, and that was really the beginning of the musical. I'm not sure that today's music, the rap stuff goes back. Maybe it does.
Today, I'm not sure about that either. But I had the good fortune, oh my word, to go to a B.B. King concert a couple of months ago in Nashville. It was just like I was mesmerized, because it was like, this is jazz at its best.
Who was that?
B.B. King.
Oh yeah, okay.
B.B. King, who was absolutely wonderful, but excellent musician. Old. B.B. King has 1 million stories that can be told, and hopefully appreciated. But he still has the respect of people. But when you talk about great people, you see them everywhere. Of course, Oprah is the queen of queens. Okay, Aretha Franklin, she's still queen of soul. You have newer people coming on the scene, the Beyoncés. You have people, professional NFL coaches and professional basketball coaches, great with a wonderful reception of eliminating or being colorblind. Blacks have been able to move into high-level, professional, visible positions, and they have made a tremendous impact and difference in all of their chosen careers.
You were mentioning coaches, and we've just had an interesting thing. Franklin, who was the coach at Vanderbilt, and really has brought them up to almost being able to qualify for the SEC, which they've been in all these years. He left, but he's been replaced by another black.
Right.
Mason, I think, is that?
I saw that on the news not long ago. I sure did. And that's great. That's just 3 miles up the road, or maybe 100, But that's a good thing. That really is a good thing. But it just goes to show that skill, fortitude is about an individual. passion. It's about an individual. And right now, the world is receiving individuals. And that's a great thing.
Okay. And I think it's maybe worth mentioning the importance, and this certainly is not restricted to the black community at all, but the importance of the family, of the black family.
Oh.
And it's, you know, it's only a matter of degree. The same situation exists with whites, but the importance of the family, and we're not doing enough about that, seems to me.
The fiber of the family probably is eroding, or it's not where it was 50 years ago. But lifestyles have changed. The forces of competition, being competitive, trying to keep up, trying to outdo their next door neighbor, their cousin, 4 states over, who they don't even know are cousins or whatever, causes a lot of that, I really, really believe. But as long as we have a creation, families will have to anchor it.
Good. Let's do that. Meanwhile, we've got to anchor the show. We've run out of time, so we're going to have to take a short commercial break and come back and wrap up.
Okay.
Imagine a world with more birthdays. We strive for it every day. We fight to get people the best access to care and the chance for more parties to plan. We're the American Cancer Society. Help create a world with more birthdays at morebirthdays.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
We're back, folks, and we've been talking today with Ms. Brenda Cannon from Motlow. She's come in today to help us commemorate Martin Luther King's birthday and Black History Month, which is coming up. So I want to thank you for taking your time to join us. And meanwhile, is there a little blurb you'd like to say to the folks out there?
Thank you for having me, and I would love to conclude the show. The Yoruba people have a saying, and it states, if you stand tall, it is because you stand on the backs of those who have come before you. If you stand tall, it is because you have come, it is because you stand on the backs of those who have come before you. I, along with hopefully you, am standing tall today because of the many, many people who have come before me.
Thank you. And with that, folks, thank you for inviting us into your parlor, and we'll see you next time.